In this video, I'm going to talk about the dictionary class. The dictionary is another type of collection similar to a list and an array, except that what it does is allow you to map one object to another object. If you've worked in C++, this is the standard map. If you've worked in Java, this is the hash map. It's a way to create a set of key value pairs that associate two objects. So the dictionary of TT is a collection which stores key value pairs, and it's useful for creating lookup tables. And notice here that we have two capital T's, right? There's two template classes here, so we could map integers to strings, or strings to strings, or images to strings, or images to images. So we can associate any two objects using a dictionary, and this is a very useful way of creating lookup tables. So like give me the sound that corresponds to the blue button, right? So give me I'm associating a color code and a sound effect, right? So very, very, very useful. Let's look at how we would create such an object. It is created exactly the same way as we would with a list, except that we have to specify two types inside of our angle brackets. So we'll create a dictionary object that associates integers and strings, and we're going to call it error code. So what we're going to do is, okay, error 404 maps to file not found. That's what we're going to do in this little hypothetical example here. So we've got, you give me the error code as an integer, you give me the integer error code, I give you back the string that corresponds to that error code. I give you the error message. And the dictionary object is a reference type just like all the other collections, so you have to allocate it using the new operator. So if I do this, I'm just creating a null reference. It doesn't get created until I do this. I use the new operator. Error codes equals new dictionary of integer to string, right? So I'm creating a new dictionary there that maps integers to strings. A new association, a new list of key value pairs. Now let's take a look at how we would actually use that. So we can put key value pairs into the dictionary in two ways. We can use the add function and supply the key and the value, or we can use array syntax and specify the key in the square brackets and assign the value as though this were an index. So I could say error code sub 404 equals page not found. Now what's interesting here is that I don't have to have, if this is an integer, right? If this were an array, I'd have to have an array that it was at least 405 things long, but I don't have to with a dictionary, right? So a dictionary, the pairs don't get, you don't have to sort of pre-allocate space like you would with an array. So here, what we're doing is we're creating a key value pair 404 to page not found. And we're doing the same thing on the line below, and those are basically functionally equivalent. So how would you get the value out of your dictionary? Let's say, okay, we've got an error code and it's 404. How do we get the message for error code 404? We can use the square brackets to do that. So imagine we had an error code right here. We're saying go into the dictionary and get me the message, to get me the string that corresponds to this key, right? So I'm supplying the key in the square brackets, and that's going to give me the value back, and the value would be page not found. So I can use the square brackets to look up the value for a particular key. Now let's talk about something very important that I've learned firsthand, and that is if you try to access, well, let's go back to the previous slide. Let's say we tried to access the error message. Maybe our error was 405, right? And we tried to access, we said, get me the error message for code 405, and that wasn't in the dictionary. That would blow up, right? That would throw an exception. It would throw a key not found exception. And that would bubble up to the top of your program and produce this message. The key was not, the key was not found in the dictionary. That is not much to go on, and I made this mistake, and I wrote this utility that my students were using, and it kept blowing up with the key was not found in the dictionary, and that was very, very hard to track down. So there's a couple of takeaways there. One is provide many layers of exception handling, so when something blows up at a low level, you can get the context in which that program failed, or you can, I wouldn't say or, I'd say and, when you use a dictionary, maybe before you try to look up the value for a key, you want to use the contains key function. You can say, hey, by the way, I'm about to do a lookup. I just want to make sure before I do the lookup that the key is actually in the dictionary. And if it's not, then I would throw my own exception saying, hey, I was unable to, the following key was not found in the dictionary. And then I could be like, well, why wasn't that key in the dictionary? It probably should have been. And that would be a much more useful error message than the key was not found, right? So if I can detect myself that the key is not in the dictionary, then I can throw a message that says, hey, that not only says that the key wasn't found, I can say which key wasn't found, and that would help me track down the error message. So we want to do something like this. If our error code doesn't contain that key, then throw a new exception that says, hey, I could not find that key in my dictionary. And then that would be a much more useful error message. And then if I didn't kind of blow up here, then I'd keep running, and then now I can go do my lookup. But now I know it's safe to do my lookup. So that is my personal experience with the dictionary. They are great. I use them all the time. They're incredibly useful. But every now and then, you'll try to do a lookup and the key won't be there, and your program will throw an exception. So I would say anytime you're trying to do stuff with a dictionary, you want to wrap that with an exception handler that will catch any errors that proceed here. So here's what that might look like. You could use a try catch construct. So try to print out, try to access your dictionary, and then if it throws an exception, you could print, the error code the key was not found. So what you want to do is catch the error messages yourself, and that way you can throw useful messages that you can log, and it will really help your program be a lot more robust. I mean, you should always write code as though it will be handed over to somebody with a really bad temper who's got an axe and he knows where you live. So always kind of code conservatively, try to bulletproof your code as much as possible. So there's really not much more to dictionaries than that. They are just lists of key value pairs, and they allow you to associate any two types of objects. And actually languages like Python and Lua, when they when you want to model an array in those languages, really what you've got is a dictionary, and one of the keys are numbers that start at 0. So so some languages don't really have arrays. They just have dictionaries, except that the key is an integer that starts at 0. So there you go. There's dictionaries. We're going to use these in Simon, and I don't know. I think you'll come to appreciate them now that I use them. I use them all the time. They're one of my favorite collections.